What's going on, guys? It's Nate with FeedTheDogs Gaming, and I'm doing a video to kind of give you guys my opinions on what I've seen so far with the Sony press conference and the Microsoft press conference, like everything that's been happening with E3. Because I mean, we kind of had a lot of stuff thrown at us all at once, and I should have got to this sooner, but I've been pretty busy the last couple days. So just now I've had a chance to sit down and watch some of the videos and seeing people's reactions to what's been happening. So I feel I'm in a good point to kind of give you guys my opinion on both the Xbox One and the PS4. Now, let me start off by saying I'm not going to be like bashing on either system. I'm going to definitely kind of show what Microsoft and Sony, that what they both shined on, and with some of the things that they could have did better. So let me start off with Microsoft and the Xbox One. Definitely got a lot of new games to look forward to. So it seems like they wanted to make this press conference like just all about games and like new releases, and they do have some pretty cool exclusives. Like, I'm really excited for Titanfall. That game looks freaking incredible. Or Rise. I mean, Rise is a game that I've seen stuff that's pretty similar to it before, but it still looks pretty cool. I I would like to see them kind of change it up a little bit, like and I like to see companies release games that people don't really touch up on a whole lot. And like the only really real Roman or Greek like war games I play are on PC, like Empire's Total War or Rome Total War, that kind of thing. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Um, but the thing that I don't like about the Xbox One, and I'm sure you guys all know this by now, but I'm not a big fan of the fact that it comes with the Kinect and you don't have any choice in the matter. Like, you have to get the Kinect because there are people out there that don't like the Kinect. I mean, I myself, I've never owned a Kinect. I don't plan on owning a Kinect. It's just not something that I like. And the fact that it comes with it and I have no choice and I have to pay extra for it, which is, I'm guessing that's why it's $500. I mean, it's kind of shitty, but at the same time, there are a lot of people that like it. So I guess I mean, good for them. But it's bad for the people that don't care for the Kinect and have to pay extra for it. I mean, I think they should definitely. I know they're probably not going to change it, but they should definitely just make it like an add-on accessory. But you know, tomato, right? um, and then one thing that Sony did really, or not Sony, excuse me, but Microsoft, one thing they did really bad as a business decision is that they knew people were going to be asking questions about the DRM and the used game policy and that kind of thing, and all they did with their press conference was just showcase the games. They didn't answer any questions. So I mean, like we're all up in the air now. Like, what's gonna happen with the used games? Like, are we still gonna be? Or is it just gonna be the same as it was before? Are we gonna have to pay a fee? Nobody knows because they didn't answer the questions. And I think if you're gonna come into an event like E3, you should have that stuff. You should have that stuff ready because you know people are gonna ask about it. And that's one thing that Sony did really well. They answered those questions. They had an amazing press conference. They show what their used game policy is gonna be. If you saw the little video, it's like step one: share your game with your friend. Thanks. Yeah. So it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory now. And but a cool thing that I saw, or one thing that I do kind of have a question with about Sony is the PlayStation Plus. Like, I know they're kind of doing like an Xbox Live. You got to pay a yearly subscription to play online, which I'm guessing, I'm hoping they'll have better security and that kind of thing. Because Sony did get their network hacked twice during this current generation. They tried to make up for it, but I'm just hoping like the whole paying for online is going to offer the Sony players better security. And also there was another thing that I was kind of questionable. What I was questioning is even though Sony may still have free online, but can you play multiplayer games? And that was one of the things that they had in the little bullet point presentation that said immersive multiplayer or playing or whatever. And does that mean that they're going to have more options for multiplayer, or does that mean you have to have PlayStation Plus to play multiplayer in general? So that's one thing they weren't unclear on. But as far as business decisions between Sony and Microsoft, Sony definitely came out on top with answering the questions and that they knew were on everybody's minds. And yeah, so good job, Sony. And also the fact that it's a lower price point. You have the option to buy the Sony Eye or whatever the Kinect sensor type thing is called. I think it's called the Sony Eye. You have the option to buy it, but it doesn't come with it. Um, yeah, so it sounds like Sony is more like they're more catering to the hardcore gamers and the people that they know are going to be maybe on a budget possibly. Because I mean, as far as buying used and new games goes, like with me personally, if it's a game that I've been anticipating for a long time and I really want to buy, I'm definitely going to buy a new copy. But if it's a game that's been out for a while and I've been meaning to play it, I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet, then I'm gonna try to. Sorry, my dog is doing something down here. Anyway, but then I'm gonna try to just buy a used copy because I mean money's tight sometimes, and I don't want to drop $60 on a game that's been out for a couple of years or maybe less than a year, or whatever. Point is, it's a used game. Um, but it does sound like that the release titles for the 360, or not the 360, but the PS4 are going to be pretty weak, as far as exclusives and IPs go. They definitely showed that there was going to be some good IPs and exclusives coming in the next few months or after the release. But it would be nice to have that kind of stuff at the release of the PlayStation 4, so we don't have to worry about that. So as far as releasing games and like exclusives goes, Microsoft definitely came out on top. So both companies had things that they did really well and things that they could have worked on, especially Microsoft and not answering any of the questions that they knew were on people's minds. I mean, Microsoft, let us know what's happening. It's not that hard. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts so far. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to decide because I mean I like playing some games on the PlayStation, but there's a lot of games I like playing on Xbox as well. I mean I love my 360, but there's Sony exclusives I want to play as well, and I think there's other games that are just better to play on a PlayStation controller, like Metal Gear Solid being one of them. I hate playing Metal Gear Solid games on a 360. I just since I played that game for years. Since the first one came out, it's always been on PlayStation. I'm accustomed to a PlayStation controller, so I'm I'm probably gonna get both systems. So I'll probably get Metal Gear Solid 5 on the PS4. But anyway, yeah, I'm ranting again. Anyway, if you guys have any questions or you guys have comments you got just definitely comment down below and hit that like button and subscribe, and we will talk to you guys later.